Hello, this is the LEGO Creator Robo Explorer. It's a 3-in-1 set, meaning there are 3 options for how to build it. Let's take a look at each of those 3, starting with this, a robot bird. It has a big head and very small wings. The wings can be flapped about because they are on ball joints, so you can pose them in all kinds of ways, including bringing them down by the side for more of a perched look like that. And they can also be rotated all the way around this way if you want. All sorts of things you can do with that. The legs are just on single axis joints, so they can be rotated out. If you can get this into a flying pose, if you're going to hang it from somewhere or something, you actually bring them back farther like that. But it works well enough to get it to stand up. It needs to have a little bit of weight towards the front in order to balance, but fortunately the head is large enough to pull that off. Nice eye here actually hides the light brick behind it that's built into this. You push on the beak to activate that light brick and it lights up both eyes on both sides. So that's pretty nice. They use a couple of clear headlight bricks in there. The 1x1 brick with a recessed stud on one side and lets the light come through to the orange stud, the transparent orange stud. And most of the body you can see is built this way, so that's up for most of the body. Oh, of course the head is on this giant ball joint, so the head can be turned around all sorts of ways. Think about the farthest it'll go up is like that. Yeah, see, it works out pretty well. I think the most useful thing here is to kind of angle the head to one side or the other to get a little bit of sense of personality or intrigue in it, like it's curious about what's going on. The next larger build option is a robo dog. Once again, same sort of design used for the eyes, but there is no light brick behind the eyes this time around. It is in a different place. I'll show you in a minute. This one has ears that can be flapped around. They can be raised up to show interest. It also has the large ball joint for the neck and the head, so it can turn around. And again, I really like the twisting from side to side. Kind of makes it look more alive. The front legs can be rotated around in various ways, including the paws. You can put it on just 3 legs. I believe there's a way to get that to balance. There we go. Get it on 3 legs so it looks like it's presenting a paw to you, or you can kind of make it look like it is walking a bit. You do have to kind of lean it. See how I got this front leg under there a little bit, but it does work. You might be able to find some other options for that as well. Ball joints for the rear legs. Oh, here's another thing that's useful to make it look like it's getting ready to play. But ball joints for the rear legs aren't as useful as normal ball joints just because of how they're oriented. You can splay the legs out like this and you can bring them forward and back fully. I guess you could do something like this. That's probably one of the more useful, more different sort of poses that you can pull off with this thing to make it look like it's looking up and begging. On the back is a jetpack. Remember, it's a robo dog, so you know, space age thing. It's often sci-fi fantasy. This one is able to transport itself around through the air. So it's got a jetpack on there with these tiny little wings, and that's where the light brick is on this one. So the jetpack lights up, or you can see it has a rocket pack, and it just has the exhaust ports that just glow a little bit using those same transparent orange pieces on the transparent clear pieces that were used for the same sort of effect on the bird. And this one has a couple of jumpers on the back here, and you can actually use those jumpers if you want to turn this into a minifig scale giant robo dog mount. So your figure can just ride on the back of it like that. That brings it into a completely different scale, I think, and is cool. You know, it's just another option for how to play with it. Here's the main build, the Robo Explorer, which uses all of the parts available in the set. This one has 2 tracks, one on either side, and they do have kind of a cheater wheel used for those tracks to make sure that it actually is able to roll around successfully. Back here, a wheel with a tire on it, Actually provides good traction against even slippery and hard surfaces, and it just drives the sprockets, the small sprockets at the back, to make sure that this is always able to run around and look proper, and the tracks don't just slide around on hard surfaces. This one is able to kind of twist over to one side or lean over to one side or the other. It's also able to rotate, has the waist articulation. The two large ball joints are used for the arms on the sides, which can be moved around decently well. This is the best one, of course, which has extra articulation for the fingers. You can really bring these wide open. You can do different kinds of poses and different kinds of grabs. So various things can actually be picked up by this. You know, it doesn't have much friction on the inside of here because that's just a plain hard plastic part, but you can put some things on it. And again, messing around with scale, you can see this as being minifig scaled, and trap a person in there, or use it for rescue. You can actually rescue somebody who's in a tough spot. The head is also on a ball joint, so that can be moved around quite a lot. Look at that. Really helps to make it look like it's coming to life as well. I like that. I like the ears on this. Looks good around the back. The whole thing looks respectable around the back, but I think the head is the best looking part because everything's mostly covered up. So as you turn the head around, viewing it from most of the popular angles, you still have a good and finished look. The light brick on this one is built into this arm, and you can use that to represent a searchlight. So there it goes, shining through the cylinder block there. It could be a headlight, it could be some kind of probe, something for analyzing materials. And when it comes to materials, they do include a couple little things, some rocks with some crystals that are supposed to represent maybe things that it's searching for on some alien planet, where it's looking for these crystals, and when it finds them, it would reach down and pick one up. Again, limited friction here for actually picking stuff up, but there are ways to pose parts to make sure that they won't slip through the fingers. This set to me represents kind of the ultimate form of LEGO Creator 3-in-1 sets. It's 3 distinctly different builds, each of which is creative and looks good on its own. Any one of these could have been sold as just a 1-in-1 set with no other options for the builds. I like the continuity and style between these 3 builds, with the medium azure curved pieces and also the designs of the eyes, which are very similar yet different enough in how they are framed, and also the different colors used for the centers of them. The lack of any texture or rubber pieces or anything to give you friction on the insides of the fingers of the main build definitely makes for the worst aspect of this set, but I don't really have a better solution in mind, so that's a very small nitpick, I'd say. In all, this actually ends up being one of my favorite LEGO Creator 3-in-1 sets, period, ever. The color scheme, the differences, the personalities, the style, the builds themselves, the parts, it all just works for me. So that's all I have to say about this one, and now it is your turn to share what you think about the set and which of the 3 builds is your favorite. Leave your thoughts in a comment, and if you want to see more videos from me, be sure to check back on my channel on a regular basis because more are on the way all the time. Thanks for watching.